We reconcile a shit ton of marriages here at Genuine Attraction. But everyone had one fundamental thing happen, one pivot that most men are not willing to do. So in this video, I'm going to show why this matters. And if you're unwilling to do it, you will never get her back. Even if she cheated, even if she says that she's just tired of taking care of another kid, even if she just wants to completely walk away, you have to do this. So stick around, I'll show you exactly what I mean. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. The process of being with a woman for 50 years or a woman that you're dating is pretty much the same. For us, it's just science. Because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. It's not that complicated. You have to make a commitment for yourself. That's what it means to be in Soul Seducer program. That's what it means to work with me directly. So that you can learn to handle your emotions, so you can learn to see right into a woman's soul and seduce her from within, to create this garden that she can actually thrive in. We had an event here last week, the Savage Producer Intensive event. We had 15 guys in this training room. And around the table, I said, show of hands, who here is reconciling? About 5 of the guys were reconciled, already reconciled. I was like, how's it going? You've reconciled? He's like, oh yeah, dude, she's all over me now. Cool, what was the big pivot for you? He's like, I had to walk away completely. What was the pivot for you? Well, I had to walk away completely. What was the pivot for you? Same, you, same. All 5 guys. Of course, this wasn't surprising to me because I know this is how it works. And so there's this fear that men have, and maybe it's the fear that you have, that if I stop loving her, then it's really over. Interesting. So it's all about you, isn't it? It's always been about you. How you feel has been all that's mattered this entire time. You can't see outside of your own fear. You can't see outside of your own need for validation from this woman, and so that is your entire worldview. You see, if you want to seduce her from the soul, you have to actually be able to see her soul. You actually have to be able to see the woman inside. What is it that she truly wants? I ask a guy, what is it that your wife wants out of life? What does she truly want? What is she going after? What's her end game? He's like, I don't know, I never asked. Yeah, that's a problem. How are you going to ever connect to this woman? You don't even know who she is. You don't really love your wife. You're chasing this woman to come into your life and to make you feel better about yourself, to make you feel like you've won on some level. You don't know what it is that your wife wants. You don't know what she's trying to get. You don't know what kind of love she wants in her life. You don't know what her intrinsic motivations are. You can't see any of it. Then what is it that you want? What is it that you truly want? Most guys can't even think outside of that. We get a guy in an enrollment call. One of the questions we ask is, so what do you want? I don't even know, dude. I can't even think past tomorrow. It's a problem. How are you going to go after anything if you don't even know what you want? How are you going to lead your woman if you don't have a place to take her? If your entire life is wrapped up in making this woman happy and chasing her ass all the time, then it's like, what are you doing? What are you living for? And Christian men will come into the program and say, I can't get a divorce. I can't break it off with her because God says not to. And I'm like, have you considered the fact that maybe you made her your false idol? What happens then? There shall be no other gods before me. You think he'd break your marriage to get you to rise up and come back to him? Probably so. You see, most men don't want their wife back. They think they want their wife back, but really what they want is this codependent situation where they're completely reliant on his wife's emotional validation. And this is because he gets validation from women, namely in the game of sex. If she's fucking me, she must love me. So what ends up happening is the first stage of this is he starts chasing after her for sex, and she's like, I'm not in the mood, I got a headache. And then the conversation eventually happens, or he blows up at her, and he's like, why don't you just want to have sex with me? And she's like, is that all you ever think about? And so the guy doesn't even have the introspection to realize that it's not the sex that he's going after. He really just wants to feel wanted. And so he's playing all these games to get sex. He's like, let me just rub her shoulders for a minute to see if she's in the mood so that I have permission to go after what I want. And that fundamental thing right there is a problem. He's asking for permission. You see, your wife wants dominant behavior. She wants to feel you wanting her, which will oftentimes drive the attraction, but she can't because every time she rubs her shoulders now, she armors the fuck up because she knows the conflict is coming right after that. I have to perform for this guy, and if I don't, then he's going to get upset at me, which then shuts her down even more. The second part of that is that guys try to turn her on immediately. They're looking for that button that they could just keep hammering and hammering and hammering and keep her horny all the time. And the thing is that she wants to feel this connection. She wants to feel this presence from you. And so most guys are completely disconnected from their sex. In other words, they have this thing called sex that gets in the way. This horniness comes up and he has to service this to get it out of the way, which is completely separate from his ability to connect. And porn makes it way worse. It exacerbates the problem. And that's a whole discussion for another video, but really the whole purpose of this video is to show you that validation is what you're chasing after, and it often leads into this game of sex. And so when a guy wants to get his wife back, say that she cheats on him or she's having an emotional affair, or maybe she's just like, you know what, I'm tired of taking care of another child. You're like a child, I just want to live for myself. I'm tired of taking care of people. I've raised 3 kids and I've raised you. I just want to be by myself. And so this guy is just completely, he loses his mind because his entire foundation of his self-worth is attached to this woman and her opinion of him. And so if he's in a narcissistically abusive relationship, this is amplified times 10 or 100 even. He loses his fucking mind. He has tons of anxiety around this. He doesn't even know how to deal with himself. And what he's dealing with is the withdrawal of an emotional addiction. And so the thing is he doesn't really want his wife, and she knows that he doesn't really want her. He just wants her to make him feel better about himself again. He just wants her to tell him that he's a good boy and he didn't fuck it up. And so this is the problem when it comes to the relationship, because she's trying to connect with that guy. Who's the guy inside? But he's sitting there hiding. He's completely hiding. He's not actually there and present to see her because he can't see outside of his own insecurity. And so when he says, how do I get my wife back? Go on date nights, have better communication. And you go after all these tips and tactics and stuff like this, or the marriage resets, or the scramblers, or trying to be bulletproof, and all these tactics. Fundamentally, as a man, he's not operating correctly. He's completely disconnected inside, and he's looking for his wife to make him feel better, like a good boy. And it's like, holy shit, dude, no wonder she wants out. You can't even see her because you can't see outside of yourself. Most conversations that men have with their wives are, is she approving of me? He's so in his head, he can't actually connect with her heart that's right in front of him. So that's the first thing we have to deal with, is get your emotional resiliency in check so you can actually deal with your own shit so you can feel her. It's the first thing we do in Soul Seducer. That's why it's called Soul Seducer. It's going to be seduced from the soul. But for most men, they cannot do this. They're unwilling to feel anything. And so he wants to get his wife back. He can't get her back because he's all wrapped up in the validation. Because he's wrapped up in the validation, he can't say no. He can't stand up for what he wants. He can't put his foot down. There's no boundaries. Why? Because he's afraid she'll leave. He's afraid she'll leave him. He's afraid of this empty house. He's afraid of being alone. He's afraid she's going to take his kids away. He's afraid of losing his retirement. And so the guy sacrifices his entire livelihood, his sovereignty as a man, for a few fucking dollars. And you watch this like, well, I might lose $1 million if I leave my wife. Well, cool. You can just be a slave to your fucking cash. Good for you. Well done. But don't come over here and complain and say, I have a problem. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, the problem's very simple. You just don't want to face it. You don't want to face the fact that you would rather be weak and have cash than to stand powerfully as a man and build some new cool shit. It's fine. I'm not going to tell you to do differently. You already know the game. I'm just here to highlight what's going on within you. You already know the answer to this. I'm just pointing it out to you because you already know what you should do. You're just too afraid to do it. And so for most men, they cannot get their wife back because they can't break the validation game. And all the things he does are all around this game of, hey, is she going to notice? I'm going to go to the gym. Is she going to notice? I'm going to improve. Is she going to notice? I'm going to become better. Is she going to notice? And everything he's doing is, can she notice? Will she notice? Will she approve of me? And of course, he does all these things and it still doesn't work. And so it's ironic that the guy wants her back and she doesn't want to come back. And he wants her back, but the situation was terrible. And she was belittling him, shaming him, guilting him. Maybe she was even cheating on him, yet he wants her back. It's like, dude, you want to go back to that? Well, no, it kind of sucks to him. What is it that you want? She doesn't come back because he hasn't broken a validation game with her yet. He has to get to a place where he's like, you know what? I don't care what you do. You can fuck 45,000 guys. I'm moving forward with my life. I'm done. I'm going this way. Doors closed, baby. I'm moving this way. And every time he does that, now she comes knocking. Why? Because that's the thing she wanted him to do 15 fucking years ago. But he was unwilling to do it. And so what she did is she got spicier. She started calling him names. She started shaming him, guilting him, telling him that he's not enough, hoping that this wild savage would finally rise up and break this game. This game of, hey, I can't feel you anymore. Dude, where are you? And he going, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I don't need her anymore. I'm out of here. She needed to feel this. She needed to feel this break so that she could actually be attracted to him, because this wussy guy who's chasing after her and simping on her all the time is not the guy that she wants. You see, when you break that connection, when you break that game of validation, everything shifts. Now you're standing in your power. Now you're starting to exert some dominance in your life. And for the first time ever, you probably feel like a spell has been lifted. Holy shit, I feel so much better. What the hell was wrong with me? Yeah, that spell, we can break that within 10 days. I know, because I've had thousands of guys come through Soul Seducer. We break that spell really fast. That's the first thing we have to handle. Let's break this dumb spell that he's under called codependency. Once he sees the light, once he steps into his power, he will never go back. Because it's so much easier not to be in that place. And you know what? There's a level of anger and frustration and tolerance where it's like, I will never go back to that fucking place or I'm simping on somebody again. It's disgusting and it's pathetic. And no man wants to feel disgusted about himself or pathetic. All men want to look cool, be perceived as tough. And so that's the opposite of those. And then all of a sudden you're able to start dominating your life. Now you can start stepping into your power. Now you can start doing some cool shit. And now she's looking at you going, okay, now I actually felt the shift. His shift in his presence is what she's been looking for. Not your muscles, not your cash, not all the cool shit you do around the house or anything else that you're doing. She wants to feel that shift in your presence. This is the thing that makes her attracted to you. This is the thing that she can rely on. If she can see you being powerful in your presence, that you're going to live your life on your terms and not anybody else's terms, now she's like, okay, that's a guy I can trust. That's a guy who's going to do some cool shit. That's a guy who's not going to be manipulated, guilted, or shamed. And that's a guy that she can find attractive because he's got some power. He's got some wild man to him. He's able to tap into his edge. He's able to go past his boundaries and step through fear and get shit done. But as long as you stay in that place where you're simping after your wife, this will never happen. It will never happen. And what happens to most guys is they don't ever get over their ex-wife. What they do is they get with another woman. They start simping on her. And then for a short time, he feels better, but then he can never quite forget about the ex-wife. What does that mean about your new girl? I mean, you're betraying her right out of the gate. You're not all the way in here. You're still thinking about her. And you're going to lie about it and pretend, no, baby, I still, you know. Then you wonder why this new woman's giving you problems. You wonder why this new woman's shaming you or guilting you, being jealous, and you can't get her off your back. Yeah, because she's calling your ass out because you're a liar. And so this is why guys get stuck in this game. This is why guys never seem to get over their ex-wives. This is why guys get cheated on to begin with. And this is why guys cannot maintain their relationships in the long term, 20, 30, 40 years out, because they had to simp on his wife the whole time. They could not step into their own power. The first thing we teach you how to do in Soul Seducer. If you want to learn how to do this, obviously check the link in the description below. Brother, if this video helps you, hit the like button so it pops up in other men's feed. If you want to share it to another guy that you know is going through this, and I know you know some of these guys. I know this because 99% of the guys I see out on the street are all doing this shit. It is pathetic and it is ridiculous, and we got to do something about it. We got to highlight this. We got to show guys that women are not the answer. They're just a way for you to have a little more fulfillment in your life and you're going and doing cooler and better shit in the world. And brother, I care about you deeply, and if you need some help, obviously check the links in the description below. We'll help you out. Comment on this video if you want to hear about some other things we're doing. If you agree, disagree, or you want me to do a different kind of topic. Anyways, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll talk to you later.